Welcome to Human History, where we don't just recount the past, we step inside it. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. If you've been with us for a while, thank you for returning. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice helps this little community grow. And if you're listening from somewhere far away, drop your city and the time of night. It means more than you know to see our global circle of curious souls connecting across centuries and continents. Breathe in slowly. Let the scent of beeswax and dried lavender fill your lungs. Outside, snow falls softly over the English countryside, muffling the world in a silence so deep it hums. If you're comfortable, settle in, perhaps with a cup of warm spiced wine or a woolen blanket drawn close. Tonight, we step not into the fevered pain of battle, but into a quieter suffering, the ache of a soul caught between duty and despair. You have just opened your eyes in the year 1412. The chamber around you is richly appointed, tapestries on the stone walls, a bed draped in Flemish linen, a silver ewer on the washstand. But the air feels heavy, as though the very light struggles to reach you. You are Lady Marguerite de Courtenay, widow of Sir Geoffrey de Courtenay, Lord of Ashcombe Manor. He died 2 winters past, struck down by a fever after returning from the King's campaign in France. You are 34 years old. You have no sons, and you are utterly, devastatingly alone. The good news? You are the dowager lady of a prosperous estate. Your tenants pay their rents faithfully. Your granaries are full. Your name still commands respect in the Shire Court. The bad news? Every morning, you wake to the same hollow feeling in your chest, a weariness that has nothing to do with sleep and everything to do with the silence that follows your husband's voice. Unlike the peasants who rise with the crowing of the cock to feed livestock and mend fences, you could lie abed all day if you wished. And some days you do, not from laziness, never that, but because the thought of rising, of dressing, of smiling at the right moments and dispensing justice in the manor court, it all feels like wearing armor made of glass, beautiful but brittle. One wrong move and it shatters. Your maid, Agnes, enters with a tray of warmed wine and honeyed bread. Good morrow, my lady, she says softly, as if afraid to startle you. She's been with you since you were a girl. She knows the look in your eyes. Is the snow still falling? You ask, your voice rough from disuse. Aye, my lady. The world's gone white. Even the ravens are quiet. You nod. Snow is a blessing and a curse. It keeps raiders and tax collectors away, but it also seals you in, a beautiful prisoner, in your own hall. You rise at last, not because you want to, but because you must. A lady does not abandon her duties, even when her heart feels like a stone in her chest. You dress in layers of wool and silk, your hair braided and coiled beneath a delicate wimple, your rings, your husband's signet, your mother's sapphire, feel cold against your skin. Downstairs, the steward waits with ledgers. The wool clip from last autumn sold well in London. The miller reports no shortages, but there's trouble. In the western fields, 2 tenants argue over a boundary stone, moved by frost heave. You'll need to judge the matter yourself. There is no lord to defer to, no husband to bear the weight, only you. This is the paradox of your station. You have power, but no peace. While peasant women carry water from the well and churn butter with blistered hands, they also share songs, gossip, laughter, Their lives are hard, yes, but woven tightly with others. You, by contrast, sit at the high table alone. Your rank demands distance, your grief, propriety. You cannot weep openly, you cannot confess weakness. To do so would invite whispers. She's lost her wits. The estate will falter. Perhaps a cousin should be named guardian. And so you perform. You smile. You judge fairly. You write letters in a steady hand. But inside, a quiet storm rages. At midday, you receive a visitor, Brother Anselm, the monk from the nearby priory. He comes not only to collect the tithe, but because he has heard, through the delicate grapevine of servants and priests, that you've been low in spirits. He finds you in the solar, staring into the fire. My lady, he says gently, the soul, like the body, requires tending. You almost laugh. I eat well, brother. I sleep, when I can. What more is there? Melancholy, he replies, is not a failure of the flesh, but an excess of black bile. It gathers in the spleen when one dwells too long on sorrow, on solitude, on things beyond one's control. You look away. I have much to be grateful for, and yet gratitude does not banish grief, he says, surprising you with his kindness. Even Christ wept. He offers remedies, walks in the garden, even in winter, reading of the Psalms, a tincture of St. John's wort and rosemary. And, most daringly, he suggests you speak, not to him necessarily, but to someone. A burden shared is a burden halved, he says, even for a lady. That night, you do something unusual. You invite your head servant, Agnes, to sit with you after supper, not as maid, but as friend. At first, she's stiff with fear of overstepping, but when you ask about her daughter, the one who married the blacksmith's son, her eyes light up. She speaks of the baby, of the hearth they've built, of the way the snow clings to the thatch like sugar. And for the first time in months, you feel something other than numbness, connection. Over the following weeks, you begin small rebellions against your own isolation. You walk the estate with your steward, not just to inspect, but to listen. You ask the miller's wife about her herbs. You allow the children of tenants to bring you holly at Christmas. You even begin writing, not just accounts, but letters to your sister in Kent, full of honest words. I miss him. Some days are harder than others. You don't cure your melancholy. It doesn't vanish like mist at dawn, but you learn to carry it differently, not as a secret shame, but as part of your humanity. One evening, as you sit by the fire, with a cup of Brother Anselm's tincture steaming beside you, you realize something profound. Privilege did not cause your sorrow, but it nearly drowned you in it. The very things that shielded you, wealth, status, privacy, also cut you off from the healing balm of ordinary human contact. The peasants may envy your warm bed and fine gowns, but they do not see the loneliness that comes with being placed on a pedestal. And you, in turn, once pitied their hardship without seeing the strength forged in community. Now, you strive for balance. You maintain your dignity, yes, but you no longer confuse distance with strength. You host feasts, but you also visit the sick. You wear silk, but you walk barefoot in the garden when no one is looking. You are still Lady de Courtenay, but you are also Marguerite, a woman who grieves, who hopes, who learns. Winter deepens. The snow piles high against the walls, but inside Ashcombe Manor, a different kind of warmth grows, not from the hearth, but from the quiet courage to be both noble and human. And perhaps that, more than any feast or title, is the truest mark of nobility. So ends our winter tale. If you found solace in Lady Marguerite's journey, know that even in the darkest season, a single spark of connection can kindle a flame. If you or someone you know is struggling, please know you are not alone and help is available. We've included some resources in the description below. Rest well, dear listener. The stars are watching over you, just as they watched over her, silent, steady, and full of grace.